So has this ever happened to you? It's your special day. Maybe it's your birthday or an anniversary. And you have this idea for how you want the day to unpack. You know what restaurant you might want to go to, or you know the gift that you might want to receive. Do you want flowers? Do you want a special gift? The end of the day comes and either all or some of those things that you wanted didn't happen, and you are left disappointed. You are left frustrated. And from this place of frustration, you become angry and you start to feel unseen, unheard, unloved, maybe even unlovable. You start to feel like you don't matter to the people in your world because they didn't acknowledge you in the way that you wanted to be acknowledged. Yeah, me too. That's what we're going to be talking about on today's show, and how to better navigate those rough waters. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa of EnergieGal Holistic Wellness. We are a community that is gathering and growing in respect to the integration of body, soul, spirit. We are encouraging one another to become curious, compassionate, and courageous when it comes to the deeper healing of the trauma that exists within our bodies. So, on today's show, we are going to be continuing our journey through Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements, which he says is a practical guide to personal freedom. We are on agreement number 3. Now, if you recall, let's see if I can remember. The first agreement was, sheesh, be impeccable with your word. I remembered that. The second one was don't take anything personally. And the third one is don't make assumptions. So let me just lay the groundwork with another example. I have had in my life people who have said to me, Lisa, after 34 years of marriage, I've known my husband for 36 years, how do you get him to remember to get you flowers or to get you the gift that you want? Because you're always saying, oh my gosh, it was a great anniversary. How is it that you get him to do that? Here's how. I don't expect him to read my mind. About a couple of weeks before our special day, whether it's my birthday, his birthday, our anniversary, I'll say, so let's sit down and let's talk about what we together might want for this day. We started understanding that what works best for us is if we have a general idea of what it is. I'm not a big jewelry person. So I've said to him, don't spend a lot of money on jewelry. I don't care. Go get me some cheap earrings. I'm good with that. So after all these years, we've gotten to the point where we understand each other better. But those first, I'm telling you, 10, 15 years, we really had to navigate some uncharted waters. He didn't know. And so I let him know. And that's why the day ended up being like, woohoo. Now, so I was a little bit more specific. Now, here's what came back at me. When I would tell people, well, I let him know what I want and what I don't want. I let him know. Someone would say, well, he should have known. And to that I replied, why? Is he a mind reader? Does he have some kind of special ESP or something? I'd never expected him to be able to just read my mind. So that was my first response. And the second, when they would say, well, if I have to tell my significant other what it is that I want, it's not worth it. Clearly, they don't know me well. And to that, I would say they don't know you well enough yet. Give them a little bit of time. If you are honest and show your true self and be in communication, Over the years, they will come to know you. But relationship is a journey. It's an adventurous, exciting experience. But we don't come out knowing each other. Just because you say I do doesn't mean that you automatically know each other inside and out. And we change and we grow and we evolve. And so being in constant communication with the other, I think, is extremely helpful. You know, I'll say to my daughter, what is it that you want your birthday to look like, hon? I say that to my 4 sons. I'll say, okay, guys, so here's your special day coming up. What is it that your expectations are of it? Because I want to make sure that we're on the same page. And again, it's back to ask clarifying questions. Don't make assumptions. This is what our author today says. Making assumptions in relationships leads to a lot of fights, a lot of difficulties, a lot of misunderstandings with people we supposedly love. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think, and we don't have to say what we want. They are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, what we assume they should do, well then, we feel hurt and we think, how could you do that? You should have known. Again, we make the assumption that the other person knows what we want. A whole drama is created because we make this assumption and then put more assumptions on top of that. We assume they should know what I want for my special day. When that doesn't get fulfilled, then we assume they don't give a shit about us. And on from there, to the point where the very back end of the thread could be, I don't even know if I'm lovable. I don't even know if I want to stay in this relationship. All because we didn't communicate our desires to begin with. I cannot stress to all of us enough the power of communication. And please, before you think I got it all right, I was the queen of the silent treatment. If in the very beginning, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't have good examples of people in communication when I was a kid. So it was big learning curve when I got married. I really did assume he should just know. Swear to God, I just thought he should know. We're married now. There's a switch and it goes on and he just knows everything I want and need. And when he didn't, I was upset. And I gave the silent treatment. The poor man. Oh my God. And he would say, well, what's wrong? And I did respond with, well, if you have to ask. And I can tell you guys, that got us nowhere. You know what that was? Me immature. Me immature. And I had to own it. And I did. And over time, I have matured. And 34 some odd years later, that dear man still hangs out with me. And you know, there are times I think that guy can read my mind. But it took investment. It took time and patience. There's a quote that says, being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, maturity. I was deeply loved by that man, and it gave me strength to be courageous, vulnerable, and look myself in the mirror and say, what are you doing? This isn't working. Stop. Don't expect him to read your mind. Communicate. Open up your mouth and speak out of your heart. What do you want? Talk to him. He's willing. He just wants to know. The other part of the quote says this, loving someone deeply gives you courage. Because loving someone deeply means standing when they don't quite understand, and you courageously staying. Loving someone deeply means they might leave. They might misunderstand. They might get angry, and you stay because you love them. So this whole idea of loving deeply, both on the receiving and the giving end, is core to courage and strength. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's like training for a marathon. Do you really think you're going to get up Friday morning, sign up for a marathon that's on Sunday? And you're a good walker. You can walk 10 miles. But this is a marathon of 26 miles that you have to do in less than 6 hours, which means you got to run part of it. It's not possible. And if you do it, you're going to get injured. You're going to be hurt. And you're not going to enjoy yourself. It takes training. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes courage and strength. But isn't that? I remember when I said I do to my husband, that wasn't the end of the race. Man, that was just the beginning. It was the beginning of the adventure. One leg was over, and we were on to the next leg of this trek called Hey, You and Me Together for a while. So grab your water. We're going to ground these. And all I want you to do is understand that there are desires that you have, that there are people around you. There are desires that you have that people around you want to fulfill and see happen and see come to fruition and help you create. There really are. But you have to open up your mouth and let them know. This life is relational. There's no other way about it. And this spoken from someone who could be a hermit. I could be all by myself all the time. I love it. I'm not afraid of my own company. But that's not the way we're knit together, my friends. We are created for community. And so today, all I want you to do is say, I am willing to open up my mouth and share my heart's desires with the people around me who have shown me they care. They love me. They have my back. And they're along for this ride. I am willing. And just for a moment, maybe just imagine what it would be like to have that day, that special day, unpack the way you'd like it to unpack. Because you've been in communication, clarity with the others in your life. And so they're in a place to be able to make it happen for you and with you and alongside of you. That's relationship. That's communication. That's community. That's maturity. I am willing to share my heart with others who have shown me they care. I am willing to allow myself to be deeply loved. It's a brave thing. So, thank you for hanging out with me. I always learn and grow so much during our chit chats. My name is Lisa. I am an holistic wellness practitioner specializing in disordered eating and all relationships with food and body and self and each other, and anxiety, raising special needs kids, marriage, and childhood abuse and trauma and healing. If you'd like to make an appointment with me for one-on-one, I've got links below. I encourage you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as a favor to me, if you would like, comment, and share the videos, because I'd like to see our community grow together. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.